Long ago, in the quiet village of Iremoje, there lived a young drummer named Adigun. His hands could speak to spirits. When he drummed, the earth itself seemed to listen. Rain would fall, hearts would heal, and birds would gather around him as though they understood his rhythm. The elders often said his music was touched by the ancestors. But Adigun was restless. He was not satisfied with drumming only for festivals and weddings. He wanted to feel something deeper, something that would stir not just the body but the soul. One evening, during the festival of the ancestors, the villagers lit their lanterns and sang praises to the spirits of the land. As the celebration came to an end, the chief priest warned everyone not to play any drum after midnight. "Once the moon reaches the top of the palm tree," he said, "the spirits walk among us. If your drum calls them, they will answer, and they do not return easily." But that night, the moon shone brighter than it ever had. The air was heavy with silence. Adigun sat alone by the riverbank, his talking drum resting on his lap. His fingers itched. The stillness begged to be broken. He began to play. Softly at first. The sound rippled across the water like whispers. Then he grew bolder, each beat echoing like a heartbeat in the night. The wind began to move, swirling around him, lifting the dust into a dance. And then he saw her. She rose from the mist like a dream, a young woman in a white wrapper, her skin glowing faintly under the moonlight. Her eyes shimmered like the surface of water. She looked at him not with fear, but with longing. "Your drum called me," she said, her voice soft as wind. Adigun's heart pounded. "Who are you?" "I do not remember," she replied. "Only that when you played I felt alive again." He should have run. Every tale he'd ever heard warned against speaking to those who came from the other side. But something in her voice held him still. He returned to the river every night. He played for her under the moon, and she would appear, smiling faintly, listening as though the rhythm healed her soul. They spoke of life and death, of dreams and silence. She told him of the world beneath the water, a place where forgotten souls wandered in search of the songs that once gave them joy. And though he knew she was not of the living, Adigun's heart betrayed him. He had fallen in love with a ghost. But secrets never stay hidden in a village. One night, the chief priest, Baba Oloy, followed the sound of the drum to the riverbank. What he saw made his blood run cold. "Adigun," he shouted, "you are drumming for the dead. That spirit has been gone for 50 years. The woman turned slowly toward him, her glow flickering. "They buried me without a song," she whispered, her voice trembling. "He gave me music, so I stayed." Lightning split the sky. The wind howled. Her tears fell, and every tear turned to a small, shining pearl that vanished into the water. Adigun reached for her, but his hands passed through empty air. The world seemed to tilt. She was fading before his eyes. That night, he dreamed of her again. She stood before him, her body transparent, her voice barely a whisper. "If you drum at dawn beneath the sacred tree," she said, "I will live again. But promise me, never look back while you play." When he awoke, her words echoed in his mind like a curse. At dawn he went to the sacred tree. The sky was burning red, and the air was thick with the scent of rain. He lifted his drum and began to play. The rhythm poured out of him, deep, wild, desperate. The earth trembled beneath his feet. He heard her footsteps behind him, light and slow like the brushing of silk. Her voice drifted through the air. "Adigun, it's me." He wanted to turn. Every part of him ached to see her face, to know if she had truly returned. But he kept his eyes forward. His hands were bleeding. The rhythm grew heavier, faster. Then silence. He could no longer hear her steps. No whisper, no sound. Only his own heartbeat. Slowly he turned around. And that was the last thing he ever did. A flash of light tore through the sky. The drum cracked open with a sound like thunder. Mist wrapped around him, swallowing him whole. When it cleared, only the drum lay there, broken but still warm to touch. The villagers found it by the river later that morning. The priest ordered it buried, But every time they tried, they heard faint drumming from within the earth. And on certain nights when the moon sits high above the palm trees, people swear they can still hear it. A heartbeat rhythm floating through the air, and a woman's voice whispering softly, "Play for me, Adigun, play again."
The end.